The first, I want to, my first claim that I would like to share with you is that not all problems are equal. Every problems are different. What is the answer of this one? You can type. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, all of you got the right answer. Perfect. Wow, appreciate it. Wow, there's no single person have a different answer. Perfect. How about this?
It's a little complex.
Thank you. Very good. You don't need to answer this question because I don't know too. What is the difference between these two questions then? Anyone? Difference between two questions, the nature.
The first is very simple. We can answer this question as fast as we can, but the second is very complex. We can't answer it at once.
That's great. Thank you. Difficulties is different, right? One is easy and the other one is difficult. So, when we talk about the problem, one way we can classify the problem is, is this easy problem or difficult problem, right? Then how about this? What is the best way to go to Wuhan station from here or from where you are? Can you answer that one?
There were so much ways. We can choose the most save up time of the most short distance. So I think it should look at the real station.
Okay, thank you. I think, the point that I would like to, the person who just answered, responded is very good. I think the point that I want to try to talk to you is that this problem has so many answers, possible answers. And also the problem of this kind of problem is that it didn't provide any contextual information. Okay. So, what is the best way? As she just mentioned, what do we mean by the best way, right? She mentioned the shortest way. That's one way, or good scenic view, or the least time to spend, or the ways to use least money. There are so many different ways, right? But usually, this kind of question, we have a series of potential kind of good answers, but depending on the context and situation, I think priority or best answer might be changed. But in terms of the constraint, I think this problem didn't provide the constraint for solving the problem. Every problem in the world, in real world situation, has a limitations and constraints. So for example, I have enough time to go to the Wuhan station now, but I don't have much money. What should I do? Or I have enough money, but I have no time. I have very limited time. And who am I? Am I a 10-year-old boy or 80 years old senior? Am I handicapped or have limited kind of capacity? What is the purpose of going to the Wuhan? For travel or business or sightseeing or to meet friends or welcoming friends? And also in the middle of your route, there's always unexpected things, unexpected traffic jam, unexpected accident, and so on and so forth. So I think, if we look at the problem, it looks very simple, like what is the best way to go to the Wuhan station from here? But once we put this into the real world context, problem become a very, very complex, but at the same time uncertain. So difference between these two questions, the first one and second one, do you have any idea in terms of the differences between them or commonalities?
The first question's answer, I think, is exactly, but the second question's answer is, I think it depends on our needs.
Yeah. So the commonalities, why, the first question is a difficult question and second one is also a difficult question, but the difference is the first one, no matter how difficult it is, it has one right answer, whereas the other one, the bottom one, has potential multiple answers depending on the context and situation. Thank you so much for your responses. So another way to classify the problem is degree of uncertainty. So first question, very certain. Everybody can agree with the answer and everybody can agree the process of obtaining the answer and there is no further questions and there's only one right answer. And the second question, there are multiple that, my car didn't start. What should I do? There might be a few options that you can take. But depending on the context where you are, like you're in China, South Korea, America, I think you may have different options. But in general, there are few options we can think about. In the third question, it becomes more options. And also the context become more significant role to shaping the solution. What about the next one? I'm sorry, I just put the city in the different one. Let's guess that. How can we increase the quality of air in Wuhan? Can you answer this one? There is answers, but there are many different answers. And also, unlike the best way to go to the Wuhan station, this one, depending on what kind of state you have, the stakeholders or community members may not agree or disagree, able to agree some common solutions because there's no right or wrong answers. There are all different kind of perspective. There are different possibilities, yet still there are uncertainty there, high degree of uncertainty. So it is hard for them to agree upon certain things. Should abortion be banned? Even more, because it is related to the individual's philosophy. And as a matter of fact, in America, because of the abortion issue, the entire country now in a big debate in our society. Okay, so I think the idea is that the point here is that the problem can be classified differently according to the degree of uncertainty. So that is my first claim, that all problems are not equal. It can be classified according to the degree of uncertainty in particular, although there are many different ways, such as complexity is another way to classify the problem. But I am more focusing on the uncertainty. I'm going to explain why later. And the second claim that I would like to share with you is different kind of problem require different layers of ability. So different ability is necessary. So in terms of layers ability, when you solve the 3 + 4 = question, you can use simply your cognition, okay? The basic cognitive activity. As problem become a little bit more uncertain and multiple kind of options, you may use metacognition. You all know the metacognition is cognition about cognition. So let's say that you realize you typically made a mistake in solving a certain type of mathematical problem once you finish your problem solving in the test, and then you just check again to make sure that you went through proper process. Those who are doing that is actually using their metacognition. So thinking about your own thinking process. People who are using a lot of metacognition, most likely known as a smart people, will get some higher score in the test and so on and so forth. So metacognition is an important, cognitive activity to have better answers, especially in those kind of strategic problems, car issues or go to the station. However, there are also additional kind of the layers of problem solving. One is epistemic belief or personal epistemology, and the other one is professional identity. Because, for example, like, should abortion be banned versus 3 plus 4 equals? Like 3 plus 4 equals question. To solve this question, do you need your philosophical foundation? Do I have to know about your philosophy or your, the value system? No. Simply without those kind of engagement, you can simply get the right answer. However, should abortion be banned or how to increase the quality of one's air quality? I think it depending on, how you answer is depending on your philosophical foundation, like whether or not you are environmentalist or developmentalist, or what kind of experience you have before will influence how to answer this kind of question. So for me, I think between the like well-defined and ill-defined spectrum, I think a problem where the all the basic cognition or basic textbook information or basic metacognition is equally important to solve any kind of problem. Yet, as problems become more ill-defined or become more uncertain, your personal epistemology or your professional identity, your philosophy become a critical role. The problem that we have, though, is that in the classroom, we teach a lot of, or we use a lot of well-defined problems. Whereas in real world, every problem is ill-defined and very uncertain. But the problem is that in school, we cover cognition and metacognition very well because we are basically using well-defined problem. But by using well-defined problem, we are missing this personal epistemology and professional identity development in the process of problem solving, which will be the big challenge once people go out to the real world when they try to solve the problem, because problem solving in real world is not only necessary for the basic knowledge, cognitive activity, and metacognitive activity, but at the same time, their identity, their epistemic kind of position become a critical role, become a important factor to play a critical role. Okay. So then along this line, my third question, third claim is that lot of cognitive activity or knowledge in problem solving is important, but limited. So that is what I mean by with this kind of the layer, cognition, after that cognition, metacognition. The cognition is covered by metacognition and cognition influenced by personal epistemology. All of these three become being influenced by professional identity. Let me give an example of this. Can you solve this problem? This is the kind of the claim from made by Goldwell that in his book. Can you answer this one? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, C. I think that is the correct answer. Thank you. A lot of people got the answer. Wow, good, good. How about this? you got this answer, I may offer a cash award. However, don't worry. I think it is very difficult question. And so far, no one has solved this problem immediately. Even I gave a lecture to the university professors, none of them solved this problem. His claim is this, everybody who can solve this problem, yet cannot solve this problem, are ranked in the specific kind of cognitive ability zone. Once you hit this mark, once you are able to solve this problem, then I think you no longer limited for problem solving because of your lack of cognitive power. You have good enough cognitive power. And once you hit this mark, then I think your cognitive ability will not limit your creativity or your problem solving ability. Others will influence those kind of things.